This is it, y'all. The Devin Haney haters' last stance. The hair follicle. Alright, well, it's what y'all want. Let's get to it.
Straighter, not roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about, the straight shot, the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Okay. Here we are, y'all. Hair follicle drug test. Dated November 9th, 2021. Well before anything. Alright. Board approved. These are the board members. Here they are. Medical Review Board. A year after the article was made, Medical Review Board reviewed this and approved this article. So what I'm saying is approved by one doctor, one white woman, two white woman doctor, a white man doctor, Asian man or Indian man doctor, another white man doctor, an Indian woman doctor, an Asian man doctor, an Asian or a Mexican or a Latino woman doctor, and two more white women doctors. So you can't tell me, oh man, it's got a black person in it.
Oh, there they go. There they go.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. Yeah, you can't tell me that. These are all white people and others. Okay, so looking at this hair follicle drug testing, let's go ahead and break this down so you guys can stop running with this false narrative. Yeah, you can stop running with this. All right, here we go. Hair follicle drug test detects evidence of drug use or misuse in a sample of hair. Can screen for the use of illegal drugs as well as the misuse of prescription medications, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You guys are more than welcome to read this article yourself. Hair follicle drug test. Simple Google search, pull it up. November 9th, 2021. It's right there for everybody. Board approved. Make sure you get the board approved one, not one that someone just wrote. No, board approved. Yeah, anyways, let's keep on going. About the test. The purpose of the hair follicle test is to detect evidence of drug use or misuse in a sample of a person's hair. Of course, that's what it's for. Now, the types that they do it for is employment testing, forensic and legal testing, medical testing, drug rehabilitation programs. Now, there's some things in this that are important. They use a hair follicle test because of its ability to show a longer history of drug exposure. A longer history of drug exposure. That's what they use it for. That's one of the perks. That's why they like to use this, because they can go back in time for a longer period, up to like 12 months to determine this. But we'll get into this in a little bit. The medical testing, although doctors rarely analyze a hair sample to evaluate a person's health, there are situations, blah, 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 blah. So that's for the health. The forensic hair samples are collected during criminal investigations or evaluate drug use or misuse in drug-facilitated crimes, blah, 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 blah. Drug rehabilitation. None of these, all these are an accumulation of them, but basically these are the things they use it for, which is relevant but irrelevant in this situation. What does the test measure? Hair drug tests identify drugs or drug metabolites in a sample of hair. A drug metabolite is a substance that is generated in the body as a drug is being broken down and eliminated. Right? The metabolites, that's what we're looking at. Once a drug is consumed, it enters the bloodstream and travels through the body. As the drug is broken down in the body, drugs and drug metabolites enter the core of the hair through the hair follicle, sweat glands, and oil glands on the scalps. Drugs and drug metabolites remain in the hair as it grows, which occurs at a rate of 1/2 inch each month. That's very important. 1/2 inch each month. So if I take a test 3 months ago and I've cut my hair and then I give you a 1/2 inch of hair on my head, then what that means is I'm just giving you last month's last month. That's all I'm giving you. I'm giving you last month. If I have 2 inches and you need, that, then you're good. I can cut a piece of hair out of my head that's 2 inches long from the bottom of my hair. That's what it's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to cut it from the bottom, which is close to the follicle. Nobody's pulling it; they're cutting it, right? So I'm supposed to cut my hair from the bottom of the hair closest to where the scalp and the follicle meet. I'm supposed to do it there, and then send you that. So if I send you a 2 inch, then what I'm sending you 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch. That's 4 months is what I'm sending you. 4 months. So you can not test the bottom because that's this month. But if it happened last month, then what you should be testing is the 1 inch mark. The 1/2 to 1 inch. That's what you should be testing, because the 1/2 to 1 inch is last month. Okay, let's keep going. This is very important what I'm saying. This is going to come back. Some drug metabolites attach to melanin, the part of the hair follicle that grows color, blah, blah, blah. Hair follicle drug testing is a longer window of detection than other types of drug tests. Yes, the reason why hair follicle testing has a longer window of detection than other drug tests is because, like I told y'all yesterday on my live stream, it's like a tree. You cut a tree down, you can count the rings to see how old the tree is. In a hair follicle, if you put something in your system last month and your hair grew, it captured it last month. It's supposed to have. Ideally, that's what it was supposed. That is the concept. It grows. Your hair grows 1/2 inch. Last month I took something. My hair grew 1/2 inch. In that 1/2 inch, that's where the metabolites are. They would not be at the bottom because my hair grew this month and I took nothing this month. Last month I did. So last month in the 1/2 inch to 1 inch, that's where the metabolites that I'm looking for should be scrutinized. That's where they would be. And if my hair continues to grow, I don't cut it for a year, I can go back a long ways to determine where it's at. You can't do that in urinalysis and blood tests because it pushes it out your system. Doesn't stay that long. Hell, you can snort cocaine and that only stays in your system for 5 days. I want to say marijuana is like 30 days. So whatever. That's the reason why they look at hair follicle tests and they like them. But whatever. While drug use and misuse may appear in the hair until 7 to 10 days after drug exposure, once it enters the hair, it remains for weeks, months, or even years. While testing hair can provide information about patterns of drug exposure, hair follicle drug testing cannot detect current intoxication. So if you took the drug right now, or if Ryan took a hair follicle test, if he took a hair follicle test on the day he failed it, a hair follicle drug test would not detect it. If Ryan Garcia took a hair follicle test on the day, or 7 to 10 days after the fight was when. So if he took a hair follicle test the same day, the day before the fight or the day of the fight, if he took a hair follicle test the day before or the day of, it would not show for a week to 10 days later. It will not show. Let's say it again. It will not show if he took the test. If he took a hair follicle test the same day, the day of the fight, the day after the fight. If he took a hair follicle test 7 days, 7 to 10 days from his positive test, from the day he took it, if he took it, it would not show up. Wouldn't show up. So there is a time period where he failed his piss tests, and if he took those, if he microdosed those, then it would not show up on a hair follicle test. Uh-oh. Anyways, let's keep going. How long does drugs remain detectable in hair is called the window of detection. The length of detection window varies based on a number of factors, including the amount of frequency of drug use or misuse. The amount and frequency. He only had a little tiny incy-wincy little bit. Microdosing. The amount and frequency. Okay, whatever. And the rate at which the drug is metabolized in the body. Some drugs continue to enter new hair growth for months after the person's last drug exposure. Some, not SARMs, because hair does not test for SARMs. Don't worry, we'll get to that. The window of detection also varies based on the amount of hair tested. Although longer samples of hair can be tested for drug exposure over longer periods of time, a standard sample of hair from the scalp is 1.5 inches and provides information for approximately 90 days of the past drug exposure. A hair sample taken from a different part of the body where hair grows more slowly may have a detection window of up to 12 months, which is what I've already said to you. Let's keep going, shall we? Let's keep going. Hair follicle drug tests. What do they test for? Alcohol, amphetamines, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine and cotinine, opioid, and phencylamine. That's what they test for, PCP. You do not see SARMs in here, but it's okay. It's okay. Hair follicle drug testing may focus on detecting one specific drug in the hair or on detecting several substances in a hair follicle drug panel, which basically all that means is I'm either looking in this one segment, this one piece, this 1/2 of inch, or I'm looking through the whole thing to see how long and what you've been doing for however long you've been doing it. All right, when should I get a hair follicle drug test? Hair follicle drug testing is used in workplace testing, blah, 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 blah. The use of drug tests is impacted by federal, state, blah, 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 yada, yada. Many parents consider using drug testing as a tool to prevent, or for many parents, damn, must be some rich-ass parents for what you guys keep telling me how expensive hair follicle tests are, but don't worry, we'll get to that here in a second. Finding a hair follicle drug test. A sample of hair can be collected at home. You can collect it at home, at a laboratory, or in a medical setting. At home, dare I say, you can collect it at home. Well, if you collect it at home, doesn't that mean you can send anybody's hair if I'm collecting it at home? Now, I understand I can have my doctor come to my house and collect my hair sample. I understand that. Just like I can have my dietitian tell me what ingredients are in the drugs, the supplements I'm taking. Yeah. See, you can't have one without the other. Yeah, if you say, oh, well, BF, of course, BF, the doctor came to his house and took his sample. Yeah, cool, no problem. His dietitian, the one that gave him the IVs? Yeah, his dietitian couldn't be telling him what are the ingredients in the stuff he's putting in his body. Oops. Whatever. Can I take the test at home? At-home collection kit allows users to collect hair samples and mail them to a laboratory for analysis. So that just means I can sit right here next to my brother, Mayo Garcia. Hey, Mayonnaise Garcia. We both have black hair. Cut a piece of your hair and let's go ahead and ship this out. There is nobody sitting here saying that the hair came from Ryan Garcia. Nobody. No one. But again, y'all go back and say, oh, come on, BF. Of course, everybody knows his doctor went there. His doctor said it was Ryan Garcia's hair. No, all his doctor did is ask him, is this your hair? And Ryan Garcia says, yeah, it is my hair. And then his doctor says, okay. Yeah, the doctor's not liable for nothing. The doctor can't get sued if that turned out to not be Ryan Garcia's hair. All the doctor got to say is, hey, I asked my client. He sent it to me. I asked him, is it his? He said it was. I'm off the hook. I'm not going there. I don't have to go to his house and pluck it and cut it myself. It literally says an at-home collection kit allows users to collect hair samples and mail them to a laboratory for analysis. At-home hair follicle drug tests are available for purchase online and over-the-counter at a variety of retail. Wait a minute. I thought you guys are running around here telling me these things are so expensive. BF, they're so expensive. The reason why they don't do hair follicle tests is because hair follicle tests are so expensive. All right, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what y'all say. That's what's up. Over the counter. So expensive. All right, cool. How much does a test cost? The cost of hair follicle drug test depends on where a sample is collected, the type of hair follicle drug test ordered, and who is paying for testing. Patient costs may be covered by an individual's health insurance or the organization requiring a drug test. In other cases, patients may choose to pay out of pocket for laboratory-based or at-home collection kits. Patient costs vary considerably, so it's important to discuss questions about the cost of testing with the doctor, insurance provider, or organization ordering the testing. All right, cool. That's what's up. Well, I can go to Amazon right now and I can order a hair follicle test kit for $16.39. Or I can go into a doctor's office. I can go there, y'all. I can go into a doctor's office and I can get a hair follicle test at max for $125. Now, people are running around here telling me, oh God, BF, oh God, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. That's the reason why they don't do a hair follicle test, because it's so expensive. You just don't know what you're talking about. It's so expensive, BF. Well, I could also go to Amazon and get a piss test for $5.67. Or I can go to the doctor and do one for $100. That is $25 less than a hair follicle test. But you guys are running around here telling me how super ooper whooper walloper looper expensive it is to do hair follicle test. Yeah. Oh God, BF, it's $90,000, it's $60,000, $100,000. It's so expensive. You guys just don't understand. That's the reason why they don't do it. You clown. You don't know what you're talking about. You clown. It's so expensive. So expensive. The expense of a drug test without insurance can fluctuate depending on the particulars of the test, but typically falls within a range of $50 to $100. That is for a UA. Yeah, urinalysis. That's what that's for. It's for urinalysis. But again, when it comes to the hair sample, a hair drug test is more expensive than a urine drug test. An at-home kit usually costs kits cost between $65 and $85. Drug tests performed in a hospital or laboratory may cost between $100 and $125. So when they say a drug test is more expensive than a urine test, you're right, by $25. Now, so you guys running around here telling me it's so expensive, BF. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just so expensive. That's the reason why you do it, because it's so expensive. Yeah, by $25. By $25. So you're sitting here debating between getting a hair follicle test, a urine test, and the amount of money is a Starbucks cup. Now, should I get this Starbucks cup and take this piss test, or should I just take a hair follicle test? I mean, these are life-changing decisions, y'all. They're life-changing decisions. So I don't want anybody in here to make no hasty decisions when you're choosing between a piss test and a hair follicle test. Now, don't tell me that, Ryan Garcia is so cheap that he couldn't spend an extra $25 on hair follicle tests now. Don't tell me the 4 tests that he passed, the 4 VADA tests he passed before he failed. Don't tell me that those ain't good either, BF. The deep state, the Illuminati, man, they're out to get him. That's what's up. Anyways, let's keep going. Taking a hair follicle drug test. Hair follicle drug tests are performed on a sample of hair usually collected from a person's scalp. Words matter. Usually collected from a person's scalp. Usually. Not all the time. Usually. Meaning I can give you a sample from the middle of my hair. Still hair. It still has the insides to it. Still has them. Yeah, it still has them. But usually, This is the reason why hair follicle tests are not the tests that are done by WADA, USADA, VADA, any of those. That's the reason why these are not done. That's the reason why these are complementary. Because there's too much gray area in hair follicle tests. When it comes to piss tests, you either did it or you didn't. But don't worry, we'll get to that. Anyways, once collected, hair samples are sent to a laboratory for testing. In some cases, words matter. In some cases, the collection of the hair sample will be performed by a trained professional to prevent tampering, contamination, or substitution of the sample. Now, let's read this again. In some cases, the collection of hair sample will be performed by a trained professional or to prevent tampering, contamination, or substitution of the sample. In some cases. So that means, if they're saying in some cases, then in some cases, the collection of the hair sample is not performed by a trained professional. In some cases it is, and in some cases it's not. Now, which case is this one? Which one is this one with Ryan Garcia? Which one? In some cases, the collection of hair will be performed by a trained professional. So in which case is this? Did he do the hair sample at home, or did he pay his doctor $125 and go into his doctor's office and do it? Because I don't remember his doctor or anybody else saying that I collected the sample from Ryan Garcia's head. No, it did not say that. The doctor just verified that a hair test was done. He verified a hair test was done. That's it. Whatever. Which means that I could send Mayonnaise Garcia's hair. Yeah, let me send Mayo Garcia. Yeah, let's send his hair. Let's send Mustard Garcia's hair to my doctor, and let's get this tested. Whatever. I know you guys don't care. I know, it's all good. Before testing, although there are no special precautions necessary before a hair follicle drug test, patients should inform their doctor of medications or supplements that have recently been taken. Patients should also inform their doctor of any recent hair treatments, including shampooing, as these may affect test results. So all I got to do is shampoo my hair. So do you guys want me to believe that Ryan Garcia has not shampooed his hair since April? We're damn near in June. Are you guys telling me that Ryan Garcia has not shampooed his hair in a month? Is that what y'all want me to believe? That he has not washed his hair in a month? Is that I'm just curious. Is that what you want me to believe? No shampooing. He didn't detox his hair. He didn't do nothing. Nothing. That's what y'all really want me to believe, that he has not washed his hair in a month. No shampooing or nothing to affect the results of his hair. All right, cool. That's what's up. During the test, collecting a sample at a laboratory or at a home involves cutting, not plucking, cutting, not pulling. So there's still some meat on the bottom of the hair. No. Cutting a lock of hair about the thickness of a pencil. I don't remember seeing any bald spots anywhere with Ryan Garcia's head, but whatever. I don't be looking that close at the nigga like some of you dudes that want to bust him down, but whatever. Cutting a lock of hair about the thickness of a pencil from the back of the head using scissors. All right, cool. That just means I can cut hair at any length I want. Yeah, if my hair is 5 inches long, then I can cut the bottom 1.5 inches. Who's going to know the difference? Who? Yeah, if I do this at home, who's going to know the difference of how long so I'm supposed to rely on Ryan Garcia's integrity to cut the hair from the right distance? Why would I do that? He's a blatant liar. Or did you forget he says he has the proof of the Illuminati? He has the proof of the deep state and still has not showed it. He has the proof of bad things to it being done to children and still has not showed it. Has not sent it to CPS, has not sent it to DIFUS, has not sent it to FBI, the CIA, anybody. Nobody has seen it. Even when Andrew Tate asked him for the proof, he still didn't show it. I wonder why. Don't you think if you had the proof, you would want it in more than one location so that the deep state doesn't get your phone and delete it? Whatever. But y'all gonna believe that he, at home, just cut the right length from the bottom and did all these things and did it correctly. That's what you got. All right, cool. That's what. Anyways. Hair is collected as close to the scalp as possible, near the hair's root, to provide information about recent drug use. A standard sample of hair is about 1.5 inches, although in some cases a longer sample may be collected for additional history of drug use and misuse. If patients don't have sufficient hair on their scalp, they can use other places, blah, 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 blah. After the test, after a sample is collected, it is packaged according to instructions contained on a collection kit and sent to a laboratory for testing. Doesn't that sound sort of like, matter of fact, exactly like what VADA does? Yeah. Your stuff is packaged according to instructions contained in the collection kit. Yeah, it's packaged according to that and then sent to a laboratory. They don't touch it, you do it. This is the exact same thing. But I know, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Once received by the laboratory, the hair sample may be washed prior to testing. Specialized methods of washing the hair sample remove some external contaminants, dirt and grease, from the surface of the hair. Drugs inside the hair are unaffected by washing. Not this. This washing right here is a specialized method. Not this. This just says shampooing. There is no specialized method of regularly washing your hair. I don't give a damn if you say no, BF. I specially wash my hair. I start washing around my ears first, and then I wash the back, and then I clean wash the middle. Man, that ain't specialized shampoo. That ain't specialized nothing. The stuff that they have cleans off the outside of the hair without contaminating the inside. This is different, and you guys know it, just like I do. But whatever. After testing, nobody cares. Whatever. Hair follicle drug test results. Receiving results. Results of hair follicle drug testing are generally available within a few days after the laboratory receives the sample. So, we've already determined that if Ryan Garcia gave a hair follicle test the day he failed it, which is before the fight, during the fight, or after the fight, or the absolute week after the fight, 7 to 10 days. It's in this peer-reviewed article by 8 doctors or more that no positive results will show. It's too soon for a positive result. So if Ryan Garcia and his doctors or anybody else says they took a hair follicle test, and the hair follicle test that they took it the same day that they failed, that they said that they was failing, the same day before or the day after, then of course it won't show up. Says 8 or 9 doctors, however many doctors peer reviewed this. Yeah, but if they did do that, then they would have had the results back a few business days after the laboratory results. Meaning that if Ryan Garcia and his doctors claiming that they took the hair follicle test weeks ago, then they would have been able to tell the world weeks ago that they passed a hair follicle test. Because it only takes a few business days. So when I said to you guys, why didn't Ryan Garcia just tell the world about his hair follicle test if he took it so long ago? Why did he wait until after the B sample test to come out? Why did he wait? This tells you all you need to know. It only takes a few business days for him to get the results. So when he was running around here talking about how he was cleared of nandrolone, he's clear. Yeah, he could have told you then he also took a hair follicle test and he was clear of that. He had the window. He could have took a hair follicle test the same day that they said he failed his test. He could have took a hair follicle test that day. The results would have been back a few days later. He could have told the world, hey, I took a hair follicle test and passed it. But he did not. He waited until the B sample came out, and now they're saying, oh, well, we took a hair follicle test and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, of course. Whatever. Interpreting test results. The results of hair follicle tests may be reported as positive or negative. Positive test results include that a drug or a metabolite was detected in the sample or hair submitted for testing. Negative test results. Let's read this carefully now. This is important. Negative test results indicate that no drugs or drug metabolites were detected in the hair sample. Negative results suggest that a person didn't consume the drug targeted by the test, or they used the drug outside of the test detection window, or an insignificant amount of the drug was consumed to be detected by the hair. Let's say that again now. Let's do it in layman terms. 1, he didn't do it. 2, the amount of hair they gave was not in the detection window. It was outside the test detection window. You know, that length of hair that I'm giving you, or if I'm giving you somebody else's hair, you know, that length of hair. So instead of me giving you 1.5 inches from the bottom, I'm giving you 1.5 inches from the top. Still getting the same. You can vet those 1.5 inches, and I'm crystal clear. Clean as a whistle. Or, you know, that little tiny insignificant, that little tiny small bit of drug. It's so small. That's small. He only had a little bit BF. It's just a tiny, tiny, small bit. Or the amount of the drug consumed was an insignificant amount. Sounds to me like this testing is not very good. And I will say again, it doesn't test for SARMs, but don't worry, you'll see that in a little bit. Anyways, let's keep going. When interpreting the results, initial test methods, confirmatory test methods. This is the one we're working on. The confirmatory test message. Confirmatory test methods, gas, liquid, blah, 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 provide more detailed results than initial test methods, include blah, 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 including specific metabolites detected in hair. This is what we're on right here. Confirmatory test methods. But I know y'all don't care about none of this at all, but it's okay. It's okay. You ain't got to care. The cutoff, the amounts, the limits, and the drugs, amphetamines and drug metabolites. 0.2. Cocaine and drug metabolites. 0.5. Marijuana. 0.1. Opiates and drug metabolites. 0.2. So if he has 0.1 in his system, even if it did test for SARMs, which it does not, but if he had 0.1.9, 0.1.8, 0.1 and below, it won't show up, even if it was in his system. Even if it was in his system, it is an insignificant amount of the drug consumed, even if it was in his system. Whatever, let's keep going, whatever. So I can easily say, oh, I'm clear, there was nothing in my system. No, that just means either it was an insignificant amount, I gave you someone else's hair, or I gave you a section of my hair that didn't have it in it. Those are all viable options, to include that he just didn't do it. That's in there as well. All those options are there. But the simple fact that there are this many options is the reason why they use blood and urine. Because in blood and urine, either you did it or you didn't. There isn't all these extras on there, but don't worry, we'll get into this in a little bit. Now, are the test results accurate? Although hair follicle testing is an accepted form of drug testing, the results of this test can be affected by a variety of factors, including environmental exposures, hair composition, use of hair products, and even hair color. How is this a viable option? How is this a viable option? if it can be affected by the color of your hair, it can be affected by just using hair products. Wasn't Ryan Garcia constantly using shea cocoa butter every time you turned around and saw him? Wasn't he putting shit? Whatever. Washing your hair is that, which I went over this already. You guys already know this, bro. But you guys can read this article for your damn self. It's there. But again, hair treatments, including shampooing, dyeing your hair, relaxing your hair, bleaching your hair, all these things. So if Ryan Garcia has black hair, all he has to do is dye his hair black. That's all he's got to do. Dye his hair black. It's already black. You would never even know he dyed it. It's already black. Whatever, bro. Whatever. Any type of chemically treating your hair at all, you're good. You're solid. Whatever, bro. Whatever, man. Whatever. So lack of cutoff values, challenging to interpret. All right, let's take a peek. Hair follicle drug testing may be more challenging to interpret than other types of drug tests due to the many factors that may affect the interpretation of the test results. For example, drug metabolites in a person's sweat can travel up the hair shaft and may make it more challenging to determine when drug exposure occurred. So, a person sweating can make the drug metabolites travel up the hair shaft. So instead of that half an inch that we should be checking for last month, the metabolites went up 2 inches, an inch and a half, which is 90 days. We're not checking for 90 days. We're checking last month. So if sweating caused the metabolites to move up even a half an inch, then guess what? They are out of the range of where we would be testing. You're attacking Ryan by testing any range outside of 30 days, which is a half an inch. A half an inch, your hair grows in half an inch. So we should be testing hair follicles 30 days. That is 1/2 an inch, 30 days. Anything past that, Ryan Garcia can question you on why you're testing anything more than 30 days. I fought Devin last month. He can question it. Yeah, that's the reason why hair follicle tests are not used as the drug test of choice. They're not, and I'll tell you when and why they are used here towards the end of this video. That's why they're not used. Are you guys telling me that boxers don't sweat? Are you telling me this? Are you guys telling me that boxers don't sweat? So if Ryan, you're telling me Ryan was not sweating when he fought Devin? Ryan was not sweating during the fucking face-off? He wasn't sweating at any time during the fight? Wasn't sweating before, during, or after the fight? Is that what you're telling me? Ryan is supposed to be an elite athlete that doesn't sweat? He wasn't sparring? He wasn't doing anything? That's what you guys are telling me? That's what you want me to believe? Okay. What this is telling you is that it's challenging to interpret the results because a person's sweat can make those metabolites travel higher than expected. If they're traveling higher than expected, then they're not within the range that we should be testing. And testing Ryan Garcia for something, hell, those metabolites could have traveled up the hair shaft a whole inch. That's 2 months. They could have traveled an inch and a half. That's 3 months. So now we're testing Ryan Garcia from way back in January, some time frame or something like that, February. For what reason? No, we should be testing him for April, last month. But whatever. And then lastly, hard to detect low-level usage. Like that instant. That's so small. It was so small, BF. It was so small. It was so tiny. He didn't even use that much. So if he didn't use that much, then why would we be using a hair follicle test for low-level usage? Doesn't that remove this test out permanently? If it's hard to detect low-level use, then why are we using this test? Why are we using the hair follicle test if they're blatantly telling you, a peer reviewed by 8 or 9 doctors, that this is peer reviewed? It's hard to detect low level usage. Didn't you guys tell me it wasn't that much he used? So if it wasn't that much, why are we using this test? Whatever. Do I need to do follow-ups? Nobody cares about follow-ups. This is irrelevant. All irrelevant. But there are some things that are relevant now. Yeah, there are some things that are relevant. Yeah, there's some things. This came from another peer-reviewed article. Oh, BF, what's the article, man? First off, y'all don't give a damn about that. No way. Doesn't matter. These facts that I'm giving you, it doesn't matter. These facts I'm giving you are irrelevant. Doesn't matter. You guys are just going to glaze over it anyway. This came from another peer-reviewed article. The results of a hair test provide information dealing with long-term drug exposure. Long-term drug exposure. That's what they use it for, but whatever. I mean, it can detect other types of drugs of which I showed you. Now, in the case of an adverse analytical finding, an AAF, or aspirin, or whatever the hell you want, or whatever these other drugs are, right? In the case of an analytical, an AAF finding, hair testing can be a complement. A complement. Not the trailblazer. A complement. It can be something that follows to document the claim of the athlete. But of course, the result should not be considered as an alternative to a urinalysis. This is because a negative hair result cannot exclude the use of the detected drug and cannot overrule a urine result. Because they don't test for SARMs. That's why they don't test for SARMs. So I don't know how many times I can say this to you guys, but I understand it's not going to matter to you guys anyway. But anyways, here's another peer-reviewed. Another one written by doctors. These 4 doctors that are right there. Right there. Those are their names. 4 doctors. Okay, anyways. Human hair testing for selective androgen receptor modulator, SARMs. Current knowledge and limitations. Interest and limitations of hair tests for SARMs. A potential use of hair analysis when challenging a urine result is to verify accidental or unintentional ingestion of food or liquids that has been contaminated with drugs. In case of a single use, the hair will not test positive in several consecutive segments, particularly for SARMs. Urine specimens cannot distinguish between repetitive use and single use. Hair analysis can. So what this is telling you is that there are segments in the hair. Segments, there's pieces. The same thing I told you about, cutting down a tree, and you can look at the rings in a tree and you can see how old the tree is. It's the same thing with hair. If you take a drug at this time, it could potentially, it will be in the hair and can potentially, it'll stop it is supposed to stop at a specific point. And then your hair grows. Now you have clean follicle, clean hair. Your hair keeps growing and it looks like layers pretty much. Clean, you have dirty hair, a dirty layer here and a clean layer here, and then next down here you have another. This in this month you tested you did some drugs and bam, it's right there. And then your hair grows and it stays right there. You tested positive and bam, it's right there. Then your hair grows, now you're clean, and then your hair grows a month and you're clean again in a month, and your hair grows a month and you're clean again in a month. Yeah. PES says you did it or you didn't. It says you did it or you didn't. This right here says there is a potential for the part of your hair to have it in there. The potential. The potential. That's why there's a limitation for the hair test, for SARMs. But let's keep going. Because this same article goes a little deeper. What is highlighted is all we're worried about. You guys are more than welcome to read the article for yourself. In order to receive the benefit of this article, and the article basically says that someone took something unintentionally. They did not mean to take it. They did not mean to take it. That's all it means. All right. In order to receive the benefit of this article, the athlete or the person must establish not only the detected prohibited substance came from a contaminated product, but must also separately establish no significant fault or negligence. What this means in layman terms is the drug you pop dirty for, you must present the contaminated product that the drug you pop dirty for is in. And then when you present the contaminated product that it was in, you must then present present no significant fault. That's when that is where the dietitian comes into play. That is where your due diligence of checking and verifying that there was nothing in this comes into play. The no significant fault or negligence. Yeah, that's where that comes into play. So the drug you took inside the product that you mistakenly took, and then you got to prove negligence. You know, your dietitian gave you this. Yeah, you just saying, oh, well, you know, I saw this, it looked good to me and I took it. That's not negligence. That's not. You are a professional athlete. It is your duty to verify what you are putting in your system. So again, the three things that you must establish. You pop dirty. Here's the illegal drug. The legal drug inside of the supplement you took, the contaminated product. And then the fact that you took this, one of two things, either unknowingly or outside of the time period you were supposed to be tested. You know those segments? If you took this a year ago, if you took this 6 months ago, that is it's not within the time period of the competition. That is no significant fault or negligence. That's in there. You took it outside the time period you're fighting. You can do whatever you want to do at that time. If you're not on year-round testing, you can do whatever you want to do. That's no significant fault. But if you took it within the time period that you knew you had to fight, that you was signed up for VADA, that's where you have to prove the drug you popped for inside the contaminated product, and now there's no significant fault. Your dietitian gave you this. You trusted your dietitian. He gave it to you. Blame him. That is no significant fault of yours. That is negligence on your dietitian, not you. But I know that doesn't matter to you guys. I know. None of that matters to you guys. I trust me, I do. Trust me, I do. So, here is yet another article. This is the same doctors from the last one. The same doctors. Now, I know y'all looked at that one article. Oh, BF. But you saw where it said particular segment SARMs could be. You said SARMs. Yeah, this is what they say. This is what they say. So far, quite all doping agent classes, including anabolic steroids and all these other things, have been identified in hair. Hormones and peptides are not incorporated in hair due to their molecular size that does not allow crossing the blood follicle barrier. But SARMs have never been detected in hair. Never. They have never been detected in hair. Never. Because hair don't test for SARMs. They're speaking ideally that it should, but it's never been caught. SARMs have never been caught in hair. Never. Now I understand you guys are going to want to start talking about Alicia Baumgartner, but Alicia Baumgartner, BF. But BFTB, Alicia Baumgartner, BF. Well, let's talk about Alicia Baumgartner. Alicia Baumgartner had mestrolone in her system. Mestrolone. Mestrolone is a testosterone type of thing. A testosterone. It's not a SARM. It's not a SARM. It's a testosterone type of thing. That is what mestrolone is. It's not ostralin. No, mestrolone is like a testosterone. That's why she was able to do the hair samples and stuff like that and work that direction. That's why she was able to do that. That's why. That's why she was cleared. That's why. That's why she was able to do that, because it's not a goddamn SARM. And SARMs have never been detected in hair. Nice try, but try again. This man is a drug cheat. He failed and popped dirty for it. Alright? Now, if you go back and you look at the 3 things that I told you need to have. You need to have, 1, the drug, Osterin. You need to have the contaminated product, Osh Gosh Migosh. And then you need to have some type of significant fault or negligence. Ryan Garcia has the Osterin. Osh Gosh Migosh says they do not have Osterin in their product. So where did he get it? We are missing that piece. 1 + 1 + 1 equals to 3. We have 1 + 0 + 1. The formula is not adding up. We still need the contaminated product he used for hair samples to be viable, to even be a viable option. We need the contaminated product he used. You can't just send your hair and say, oh, my hair is clean. No, you need the drug, you need the contaminated product, and then you need a significant fault or negligence. Then that's when you can say, okay, now we can use the hair test for this. He does not have the second one at all. He has the drug he used and the fact that he's saying he didn't mean to take it. So he has negligence in the drug he used. He does not have the product. So any way you look at it, he is a drug cheat. He is, and you guys are moving the goalposts to try to get this man out of it. No, sir. No, sir. He's a drug cheat. He failed. Now we are now looking for what is going to happen to him. BFTB. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out.